Trap, 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 trap. What's up, man? Y'all already know, man. Another week, another week. Y'all already know, another week. What's up with y'all, man? Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Everything looking promising regardless of what's going on in their life, man. Regardless of anything what's going on, bro. Life gonna keep rolling. Something like boxing, bro. You just gotta roll with the punches sometimes. You already know, man. First Game Podcast, bro. How y'all guys doing? You ain't gotta tell me. I know y'all doing great. Here go another one, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energized, man. My boys won today. You already know, man. Shout out to the Panthers, man. Hard-fought game. We just, it's the cardiac cats. That's all you can say about them. One week, we might get blown out by another team. Next week, we might get beat by the best. We might beat the best team. It's up to down. You never know what you're going to get from these guys, man. You never know. Like, I just feel, inspired by these guys every time I see them play every week, man. 'Cause I know the ups and downs. I know what can happen. But I know also we got the NFL, that's why they call it a grind. Because you're going to keep, you got to keep going. Ankle might be messed up. You might have a deep thigh bruise. But you can't stop. That's just how it be, is that you can put that in life. You can put that in life. No matter what, bro, you gotta keep going. 'Cause once you stop, you quit. You let down the whole team. That's how it be sometimes, man. I ain't trying to get too much goddamn motivation to y'all, man. I ain't gonna give y'all too much, man. But you already know this First Game Podcast, Season 4, Episode 2. I'm solo dolo. You might as well go and get it. Go and get it, man. You already know if you ain't know by now. I go by Big Dave 1500 on Twitter. Y'all can go follow me, man. Follow me, man, please. I appreciate everybody who will be tuned in tonight. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It's oh, my bad, man. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. My bad, man. I ain't want to be too rude, man. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody who, Thanksgiving just passed. Everybody got their stomach stuffed. Yeah, everybody feeling good. Some people probably feeling kind of lazy. 'Cause all that good old food just rumbling in your stomach. That's what I'm talking about. That's how it always should be, man. One thing I do know about the holidays, man, sometimes it might be good for some people. Some people, this ain't their time of the season. This be the season when people get all sick, coughing. This be the season everybody be all looking at their pockets. I gotta get my kid this, I gotta get my kid that. We gotta celebrate Christmas. Yeah, get real, man. Get real. I don't care anybody say, man. That's one thing about, like, all the holidays, man. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be like, cheerful. It's supposed to be, lighthearted. We supposed to be all goddamn happy for each other and be nice. It'd be the total opposite. It'd be most of the time chaotic. I will go over that because there's a lot of things that happen at the White House. There's a lot of also when we covering all the changes. But it's just solo dolo, man. If you feel like it's a topic we should cover, man, just give a little comment, man. Give some thumbs up, do something, man. Don't just be all shy, man. I ain't no hating nigga. I ain't no hating nigga. Man, we're just gonna jump right in it, man. Shedeur played his first game last week. Proud of him, man. Proud of him, man. It was a good game. Everybody was, you could say everybody anticipated for Shedeur to play his first game. Everybody was ready for him, man. Um, Everybody was ready for him to, go. It ain't like I think he is kind of like a fading favorite right now. He also like, even though he has a flashy dad background, I mean, you can't get mad at the boy if he got a good dad. At the end of the day, you can't get mad at that. But you realize Shedeur, he actually carried himself just the opposite. He don't really try to put himself on a higher pedestal. I kind of thought he was like that back in the day. I don't see that out of him nowadays. I actually see a more should I actually see a Shedeur that's ready to speak to the press. He doesn't, he know about the situation. He don't just give nonchalant answers. He actually give great answers. He actually respect the staff. I see that Shedeur, man. I don't know if he covered. He probably did cover last week. He probably didn't. He probably did. But you know what I'm saying? Trump gave a shout out to Shedeur, man. Gave a shout out to Shedeur. He told Shedeur, man, it was, he was just glad seeing him out there. Shedeur, Trump said Shedeur was great. Wins first game. Also, you know, career start as a pro. Great genes, I told you so. Hey, you gotta look at that, man. Like you can't. I don't care anybody say you forget the political side. That's why I do commend Trump on showing up at these sporting events because he's a man just like everybody else. Regardless of what you into and what everybody else into, you could tell he's obviously into sports. He obviously gonna get his input on sports. I don't care how liberal you are. I don't care how mad you are. It, he shoot, he's a regular man just like everybody else. So he gonna give his input. Like I see the same stuff you see, but I think that's more inspirational on Shedeur part too, because you got the president of the United States backing you up, regardless of your position right now. He ain't playing. Well, I mean, he ain't considered no starting. He ain't considered the face of the organization. But right now, you have the president of the United States backing you up, telling you like, yo, we already know you a star. We already know who you is. Even though you're not in the best position right now, we already know who you is. Even though they lost this week, though, that was probably like last week when he first played the game. He lost last week, though. I mean, he lost this week. But I mean, at the end of the day, you still gotta look at the fact that man, he's out there playing. I know it's a lot of their heads out there Y'all looking like, yo, man, I'm glad to see him out there. He's making it work. That's exactly what Tom Brady told him. Tom Brady told him exactly that. Like, no one is in a great position. Even the best player in the world, even the number one best player in the world, he's going to be in the shittiest position, the shittiest team, and he still had to, you know, rise to the opportunity. That's what it is. I ain't saying the Cleveland Browns haven't been the best team, but Cleveland Browns, they still and they trying to get it together. They trying to get it together. But at the same time, it's like I would rather be in that position too. I don't want to be on no. I don't want to be on no Patriots team that already got it together. That's looking at me and they looking like, yo, get it big good or get cut. I want to take that try to get it together too. So when they get the pieces together, they be like, hey, you was here through the rebuild, so you gonna play. That's just me, man. That is me. I don't care what anybody say, man. But it's just me. I just look at that, and it's kind of sad when you look at how Trump supporting shedeur, and he still get the backlash. He still get the backlash. I don't know what Twitter. I don't know what Twitter account. I'm not about to put nobody Twitter account out there, but I heard Black Twitter was heated. Like, shedeur, you know damn well you shouldn't have took no Trump. You shouldn't have took no Trump. Hold on, shedeur, you should have known you should have took no Trump compliments. Our people don't take that. He can't take no compliments. He can't take a compliment. That's wild. I hope we ain't getting there. I really hope we ain't going to that. Going to that. That's sad. Cause it's like damn the boy can't take a damn compliment from the president of the United States. Cause y'all think he racist. That should be another clue too. If he was racist, he wouldn't even shout out shedeur. I ain't gonna go into that one because I got a lot of stuff to cover. I came across this clip, man. It's the Mississippi private school championship game, and this incident, it's going viral. It's crazy. I'm on the sports right now, so don't worry about it. I'm on the sports right now, but it's like nowadays. I remember growing up. I used to, I seen my brother play. I seen all kinds of people play. It used to be like at games we used to have some type of mannerism. We had to still act a certain way, even at games, even outside of the games, even outside of shoulder pads. Like you still had to conduct yourself as try to be professional. Not even professional, just conduct yourself in the right way. It's like nowadays you're not even seeing that in sports. You don't even see it in sports nowadays. You don't even see that in sports nowadays. It's just getting real crazy. Cause it's like, dang, like people are people are exerting weird behaviors nowadays in sports. But let me get this back. Let me get to the clip, man, because it's gonna wow you. It's gonna be like, whoa.
This is Center here coming towards the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, the
There's the
sideline.
coach that kind of gives him a little shove, knocks him off balance. And there's the retaliation moment. And then
Let's play it one more time.
this is
Center here coming towards the line of scrimmage, or excuse me, the
there's the
sideline.
coach that kind of gives him a little shove, knocks him off balance. And there's the retaliation moment. And then this
Oh, I don't know who. I'm not about to say like. I don't want to take nobody's sides, man. I don't know whose side, who's right, who's wrong. I will say this, man. As a coach, respect the game, respect the players, regardless of what. Like, you're not even a player, so you shouldn't be. You know, you shouldn't be that deep in the hatred for opponent. At the same time, you're supposed to respect your opponents. You the one showing the kids how to, carry themselves. I'm not about to say the coach was in the right. I'm about to say the coach was in the wrong, but I'm just looking at the fact of him being older than a lot of them. He's older than players. Private school championship, that most likely might have been in high school. You're supposed to carry yourself in a different, you know, in a manner. Even though it don't look like he did too much. But at the end of the day, when people are playing competitive sports, you're supposed to have respect. I done seen plenty of times that quarterback went to the sideline. It ain't even on some. It ain't even on some like you just watch a person fall. Sometimes you just catch them like, hey man, catch them. You ain't gotta direct them back on the field. It's just that's just the respect part. You see a player running to the sideline, you got a bench right behind you. You don't want him to run to the bench. Hey, catch him. Hey, son, I got you. Get back out there. Give him a little smack on the butt. I mean, it's like, it's kind of weird, though, because nowadays you do realize, like, games, you have a lot of flop. Flop. It's a lot of flopping going on. You do have that flopping. I ain't about to say that the little boy was flopping, but it didn't look like the intent of the football player coach was. The football coach was trying to just shove him out the fucking way. He gave him a little tap, but it's just that clip is wild. I don't like seeing stuff like that because it's like sports ain't. It's like I figured that high school is supposed to prepare you for college, and college is supposed to prepare you for the pros. At the end of the day, if we're supposed to have some type of mannerism that it's supposed to show. Like you ain't have to touch the player, you ain't have to handshake him. He must have been whooping y'all ass so bad that you had to push him, tap on him like that, and he went flying. But it's just the same time, like man, come on, you ain't have to do all that. And the player could have just turned the cheek too and said, got up and say, okay, be tough. That's one thing. Composure nowadays is missing from the game. We got too many people that's act on emotions. They don't care about the next down. They don't care about the next game. They don't care if they get suspended. Regardless if a coach did that sneaky play. Everybody saw it. I saw it. I wasn't up. But regardless of that happening, keep your composure. You ain't had to goddamn throw a bullet at that coach head. Then you threw it at the wrong coach. So it's like you caused all this commotion out of emotion. I ain't about to say that what he did was right. But it's like, bro, we gotta have our composure nowadays. Sports is starting to look like Sports is starting to look like a Jerry Springer episode. If you ask me, I don't know what it is about authority with younger guys nowadays. That just like when um, I was watching the Michigan game. I was watching the Michigan game, and a ref, was trying to was talking to a Michigan player, like, "Yo, calm down." And he headbutt the ref. Now he didn't get suspended or he didn't get ejected, but it's like, dude, you're not realizing you just headbutted a ref. I just want to see that back, man. I know you supposed to play with high emotions, high intensity, but it's controlled. It's not going out your way. It's not doing nothing crazy. It's not putting your team in jeopardy. That could have happened. That could have been I think it was a fourth down stop. Yeah, it was a fourth down stop, and no, I think it was third down stop. One of them two. But what if they threw that flag and boom? Now we got them redowns. I just think that's what sports missing nowadays: the accountability of a player. I ain't saying the intensity part need to lower down, but I just think that the accountability part of me and my emotions going crazy, I don't want to say that's a part of the game. Because most of the stuff that I'm seeing nowadays, it's like that at the game that we supposed to. Because most of these games nowadays, most of these football games nowadays are life lessons. It ain't just about you making a bucket. Sometimes a lot of these teams come back from a 20-point deficit and then they win, and the lesson was learned that never give up. So I think that's the part of the game that's missing nowadays is learning from the games, because there's no punishment, and if it was a punishment, that player probably going to another team anyway. I think it's just that the game is missing the integrity part. But to that little kid, I understand why he was mad though. I'd be mad too if I run into the sideline and coach shoved me down purposely. I wouldn't expect that out of coach. But I'm like, I'm kind of done with sports. I'm done with sports. Yeah, I'm done with sports. You ain't got to talk about sports. Let's get to the next topic. Yes, sir. Y'all remember. You don't, you don't understand the words coming out my mouth? Classic. Classic. We all know that's the line from Rush Hour. I love Rush Hour. That was one of them. I think Rush Hour was one of them movies that helped Chris Tucker, image go higher. He was good in Money Talks. He was great in Money Talks. But it's always, people have they say about cops. But I ain't gonna lie. People love cops when they're acting in the movie. I love Bad Boys. I love that all. I love cop movies. I ain't no hating cop person, but I know a lot of people fave the acting cops, the cops in the movies. 'Cause the cops in the movies are heroes. But we getting another Rush Hour. Hey, Rush Hour 4 in the works. And this comes from Donald Trump personally requests Paramount to revive the franchise. That's kind of new right there. That's kind of new. You know, that's once again. That's why it's like when you growing up nowadays. When I was growing up nowadays, I see a president. He'll speak about stuff, and that's it. It was always political. It was always about the country and what the country needs. But now we got a president that's like, he's more human. He I don't think it was on his personal. I don't think it was just for him, but I think he was trying to get Hollywood to get back in the mode of making movies in the United States. I don't think it was on some. He probably did like the franchise. Don't get it wrong. He liked the franchise. Who didn't like? Who didn't like? Come on. Who didn't like Rush Hour? But I'm just saying that I think it's on a bigger note that it's probably got to go deeper than that. You probably got to look at the fact that he's trying to encourage, he's trying to bring back, laughter. We got to laugh nowadays. That's what's sometimes is what missing too about this country. But also he probably was just looking like, shoot, that was a good franchise. Let's get another Rush Hour going. I don't think it's over. I think I don't think it's over. But hey, it's in the works. It's in the works. Rush Hour 4 is in the works. I ain't mad at that choice. I'm not mad at that choice, man. Cause it's like, shoot, I wanted to see. I still wanting to see. Like, I'm still wanting to see. I'm still wanting to see it, man. But shout out to Troy with that one, man. Shoot. But some people be ill-hearted. Some people be mad about that. He shouldn't be worrying about. Yeah, I understand why he was mad though. He shouldn't be worrying about. He shouldn't be worrying about the. He should be worrying about the country. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be worrying about making movies. But hey, man, let's just let's just watch it, man. Let's just watch it and see how it is. Now I will be mad if it ain't funny. If it ain't funny, I'll be pissed off. But let's get to the next news, man. I don't want to take up all y'all time. Next news, man. It's gonna have some of y'all pissed off. Probably not. The federal judge dismissed the false statements charge against James Comey and bank fraud charge against Letitia James, finding they were illegitimate because they were brought by an unqualified U.S. attorney. In case you didn't know, James Comey and Letitia James, there was indictment off for their charges. James Comey was indicted for the Russia hoax. Letitia James was indicted for I think mortgage fraud, bank fraud. You can look it up. But on November 24th, they said the judges said, hey, let's just dismiss this case. Hey, yo, I look at this and I look at the case and I say, everyone right now, I don't care if you're MAGA, conservative, yeah, it's mainly MAGA, but everybody right now are kind of pissed off at the fact that, yeah, you're sending these guys to court, but what is the verdict? What is the verdict? If you tell me, ask me, what is the verdict? Every time it's, you get this. You get dismissed. Now you get dismissed. But it's Trump has sued ABC. Trump has sued PBS. Trump has sued a lot of people, and they've been won court. They've been winning in court. He's kind of like undefeated right now, but you also got some of these losses that it's going to have a lot of conservative people mad because at the fact we're looking at accountability again. None of these people are going to jail. During the first administration, I'm not really alighting on the first administration. You got to look at this too. There were a lot of conservative voices going to jail left and right, up and down. You can call it revenge. I'm not calling it revenge. I'm just calling. I don't know what to call it because it's like when I see this, it's like who it is. It's like no one's getting. I'm not about to put my faith in. I'm not about to put my faith in some of these indictments with with political figures. I want to be surprised, but I'm not surprised. Lindsay Holligan, she was an attorney that's in question. She served the interim U.S. attorney for East District of Virginia, appointed by Pam Bondi. Um, she the one who signed. She the one who signed the indictments against Letitia James Comey. And this is a judge who ruled her unlawful. You just gotta look at the facts, right? Like, I'm gonna say, wow. What evidence? Why was the evidence? Why? Cause it's just one thing you gotta realize, man. I mean, how I'm looking at it, man. At first, I'm on the side of like I want to see what's right too. I want to see see what's real, and then I look on the other side, and it's like when you get this, now you got talking points for the left of he just looking for revenge. I'm not about to say, but I'm also, if I could have looked at it like that, I could have looked at it like that. But I also know that these judges are more, you know, painted towards liberals. I know we got more liberal judges too. It said violation of federal appointment laws. Okay, the U.S. judge ruled that Halligan's appointed as intern for the district this breach statutes like 28 of USC 546 was given how intern are appointed, which there's no Senate confirmed permanent holder. These laws require either Senate confirmation for all appointments or district time limited intern procedures to prevent unchecked. I guess because she wasn't appointed officially. That's one of them. Two, there was the impact of indictments and evidence. Okay, Holligan was the only prosecutor who was presented evidence to the grand juries, and that probably was she was on too many. Yeah, she was on too many cases. She was on too many cases. She signed indictments in 25th, September 25th and 29th. Oversaw processes because of her role was defective. The judge seen all actions stemming from it, including the grand jury proceedings, resulting indictments, unlawful exercise. So they had too many people on one case. conflict of interest. Basically, you could say conflict of interest. Effectively in the role in securing charges as indictments were void. Rejection of radio fixes. The Justice Department tried to cure the issue by having Bondi radio retroactively ratifying Halligan's actions. Kerry rejected this, arguing it lacked authority and could allow the government to appoint any private citizen off the street post facto undetermined accountability. Well, that was gonna happen. I just hate when I look at that. This is why I hate. I hate the fact that I mean it's starting to look bad on what justice that's supposed to be brought because y'all know Trump went to jail for his bullshit reasons. Now I don't is it now you see that it is starting to look like he's doing it off of revenge. I don't want to be biased, but it is starting to do that because these type of cases are not going through. So it's starting to look like, oh, you just hate me and you trying to get me arrested. I understand that. Maybe it's on the, maybe it's on the like, maybe it's on the it's too aggressive. Maybe it's on that. Maybe like right now, trying to get people locked up is not a good thing. Cause these evidence ain't holding out. That's why it do take time to get someone locked up. That's why we gotta wait at the very least moment. But sometimes the statute of limitations, you gotta hurry up and do it. Oh well, though. I mean, some of y'all conservative people, y'all should not be surprised. We some of y'all should have known like these people's gonna watch scotch free. Come on, if you surprised, you was looking at the wrong stories. That's all I'm saying. You shouldn't be surprised. These people gonna walk away free, regardless. That's what was gonna happen. And are we gonna get accountability? Probably not. Are we gonna get accountability? Zero of the time. Because it's like right now it's gonna be a conflict of interest. It's gonna be on some he just want revenge on the next political party or political figure. You're not gonna actually see no justice until we get the behind the scenes of recording or somebody giving out a confession. But other than that, it's it's sad because it's like everyone is on the. It's like everyone can say what they want to say, but at the same time, it's like, are we one day are we going to get the real genuine of somebody going to jail? Are we going to ever get that one day? I don't think so. I think we always gonna get this juggle of not real stuff. I think we're gonna always gonna get this juggle of being biased. I think we're always gonna get this juggle of who's telling the truth and who's not. It's gonna be a lot of stuff that you just gonna have to wait on. I'm dead serious because it's like ain't no use of just holding your breath on it. But one thing I do know, that these judges are the reason why some of these people are walking. Let's be real. I'm being real with everybody. Some of these judges are not doing their job and they being activists. Like I saw this one reel. I saw this one meme. It said it's kind of like an insurrection of justice because you're not getting what we supposed to get. That's gonna be the problem with these judges are stepping in and putting their feelings in instead of just going with the law. We're getting that everywhere. We're getting that in Charlotte. We're getting that everywhere. Because the judges at the end of the day feel like they the ones who put their foot down. And it's not looking good. And they're letting people walk away. I ain't mad. Let's get to that. I ain't about to. Man, I'm about to talk y'all head off. My bad, man. I'm just trying to get to the next topic. This is another topic right here that sparked some conversations among not only it sparked conversation with a lot of people, including my wife. My wife is a nurse. The Department of Education is not considering nursing as a professional degree. I will let this clip play just to get a little briefing of what that could mean. But let's just hear the news.
Let's turn to a headline that is creating some backlash and confusion as the Department of Education left nursing and other professions off a list of, quote, professional degrees in a proposed rule over loans. And this move could affect how students finance their education in the future. There are hundreds of thousands of nurses and soon-to-be nurses impacted by this, as annual loans for new borrowers capped at $20,500 for graduate students, $50,000 for professional students, and a lot of outrage and backlash over this. Let's bring in right now the president of the American Nurses Association, Dr. Jennifer Menzik. Kennedy, I appreciate your time here on Live Now from Fox, and rightly so, there's a lot of conversations happening about this. How does this directly impact nurses?
No, thank you for bringing up this topic. It is so important. And I'm really hoping this is just a miscommunication or a misstep with the Department of Education. But we're hearing from many nurses and many individuals who want to go into nursing, many individuals who want to become nurse faculty and advanced practice registered nurses who are wondering if they should continue with this education. And so with these caps, the way they are proposing them, individuals wouldn't be able to have the access to the full amount of their tuition in many programs. So we're going to see people decide not to go be nurse practitioner. So we're going to see people decide not to go on to be nurse faculty. And this is going to exacerbate a shortage of primary care providers, as well as people who are teaching the next generations of nurses.
Yeah, and you mentioned just of the funding as people going to school for this, because it is an intensive process. And if you're a patient, you almost want it to be to get the best care necessary for this. Are you concerned about the perception as well? Because I know there's a lot of nurses out there that are already nurses, potentially going back to school. Just the perception from patients that they're potentially labeling nursing not as a professional degree. Do you think that hurts the profession?
No, I think we definitely need to clarify, and I think we need to make sure we speak very loud and clearly that nursing is a profession. Nurses are professional, and that we're not going to, tolerate anything less than this. And it's absolutely important to be included in that Department of Education definition, particularly when they've added to that definition that They're looking at graduate versus professional loans, and that the professional loans are those high return on investment. And like, what is more possibly higher return on investment than nursing and advanced practice registered nurses, such as nurse practitioners and faculty? We are short primary care providers in our rural areas. We are short nurses. We're going to have at least 6% shortage in nursing. Now, we have over 5 million nurses, so 6% is a large amount. And we have tens of thousands of nurses retiring each year. We had over 80,000 applicants into nursing programs that were qualified that didn't get into their program, mostly because of a lack of nurse faculty. So we cannot allow this to stand, because it's going to have devastating impacts to the nursing profession and to the healthcare structure of the United States. Nursing is the backbone of the healthcare system in the United States.
And can you talk a little bit about the timeline if people out there are not nurses or don't know what it takes to become a nurse? Because obviously there are different ways, different institutions you can go through, but there's a lot of nurses that are already nurses that are going to get more letters to their name, obviously similar to what you have behind your name. Can you talk about that, how nurses become into this profession and how they continue their careers through that education process, even while working in the workforce?
Absolutely. I personally got my PhD in nursing so that I could teach over 20 years ago. And that was a 5 years of graduate level education after my bachelor's degree. And that I acquired $100,000 in school loans. That was 20 years ago, and education has continued to get higher. So for those who are advanced practice registered nurses, these are nurse practitioners, CRNAs, your nurse anesthetists, your certified nurse midwives, and CNSs. These are individuals who need master's and doctoral degrees to be able to sit for their certifying exams to be those advanced roles. I would even add then you have the nurse faculty who need doctoral degrees in many instances to teach nursing. Also, I think is lesser known, but there is about 10,000 nursing students right now in what's considered master's entry nursing programs, graduate nursing programs, but that gets them in to be registered nurses. These are people who got maybe a first bachelor's degree in IT or communications, finance, who decided they want to do something different with their life and want to feel like they're fulfilled. And they chose to go to nursing school. And so they're in an entry-level graduate program to be an RN. And we're hearing from those individuals who are scared about potential funding issues with those programs. So we have many entry points for people who want to go into nursing and advanced nursing, and we do not need to limit any of those at this time.
And you mentioned an interesting part of this, and you mentioned kind of the return on investment.
Yeah, man, it did spark a lot because, I think that's always going to be a conversation of available funds for people who are trying to up their education. It did spark a lot. It sparked a lot of conversation amongst a lot of people, and a lot of people felt like that it's kind of like punishing the student for trying to up their education. I understand. I think this was kind of a surprise. Was a surprise move. I don't think this was a calculated move, but I don't think this was aimed towards the student. I don't think this was aimed towards students, because you gotta look at how much money that is presented. We 37 million in debt. We in debt right now. But also you gotta look at education by itself. That's always gonna be a primary. Everyone, I don't care who you is right now, everybody had debt. Student loan debt. Regardless if you finish or not, everyone got debt. But this is some of the findings that I came across to see why this was kind of like looked at. Came across a lot. Right now, you could say it's approximately $48 billion student loan debt that's it's held by RNs. That's just RNs. And also 2.2 million RNs, that's like 51% of roughly 4.3 RN is in the workforce. So 48 billion of student loan debt is owned by RNs. You can also look at the fact, what is the percentage of the student loan debt from RNs? That's approximately 70% right now. 70%. So that's over half of the student loan debt right now is coming from RNs. Shortage, you already know about the shortage. The shortage came from COVID. The shortage came from the whole healthcare system, because this profession right now, even on the entry level, is becoming demanding. I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about on the entry level. But once again, I don't think this was kind of aimed towards the nurses. I don't think it was kind of aimed towards, you see right there, it says 70%. I don't think this is aimed towards, towards the nurses at all. And I don't even think this is kind of like a punishment. I just think that they're trying to make, you gotta realize all this stuff is about money, regardless. You gotta realize these programs, do they really care about you graduating? Or do they really care that you can pay for the class? That's what some people gotta realize. And you gotta look at the fact that some of these schools are working together with Sallie Mae. To be honest, that's like me going to the store with a credit card with a limit. I tell the clerk that I have a $10 limit. The chips is probably like $5. The sodas is $7. That's like, the chips and sodas kind of like education, schooling, books, dorm probably. But the program itself is probably like $5. But it's just the fact that the schools are working together with Sallie Mae, and they saying that, nah, we should make them chips. We should make them chips. God dang, $8. We should make them chips about $10. And at the same time, when they make the chips expensive, that's the burden on the student. Because if you ain't, I don't care who you is, it would be great if you did have, it would be great if you did have that money in hand to give your son and say, if you want to go to school, son, here go the money. Go to, apply for any school you want to go to. It don't matter. Here go the money. But when you don't have a college fund, you got to go apply for that FAFSA. And that actually helps students to be in school. It doesn't keep the student in school. It just help you obtain what you want to attain. That's why when you do go to school, you do have to know, what are you going to school for? Because none of this shit free. None of this shit free. But you gotta look at, and then some of these programs, I think it wasn't aimed towards the students. It was aimed towards these programs that are, I ain't gonna say overcharging, but they know the limit of a student. They know a limit of a RN. They know a limit of a nurse practitioner. So they say, shit, if your limit is 200,000, we should just make this program 130,000 just to get a little pinch from it. Whether that student graduate or not, it's still cha-ching out that pile. Everybody getting cha-ching out that pile. And this was Grok putting out the average student loan per nurse debt. We got our first level. This is kind of like entry level for nurses, RN. I'll say 19,000 to 23,000. That's just for RN. That's just 2 years. 2 years, that's a car note. Boom. Bachelor of Science in Nursing. That's 4 years. 70%, that's what they borrow. You could say 23 to 28,000. Boom, that's awesome one. Shoot. 4 years. So you might have to times that by 4. 23, 23, 23, 23. Yeah. Let's accumulate 4 years. So, I mean, the debt ain't too bad when you get to the RN and BSN. He go to Master of Nursing. The average debt is 47,000, 49,000. And this debt is often the starting salary. So I don't care what you is. Like, a lot of people ain't gonna pay that debt off. Like, I don't care once you graduate, you gonna pay that debt off. So it's hard to even. And a lot of these jobs are more hesitant on new nurses because of their experience. So they saying starting salary could be 120,000, but that's their average debt right there. We on the third level. So boom, this is nursing practice, nurse practitioner, I think. I'm not sure. This is the highest common debt of all for common leadership roles. 100,000 to 184 debt. And most of this debt are coming from programs. I don't think most of this debt is coming from these nurses are having to pay for these programs. So I don't think it was trying to shoot a shot at nurses, trying to make the woman go back in the house, or if you a man, they're trying to make it more easier. I'm not necessarily saying that was a good thing or a bad thing. It was kind of like a reciprocal action towards, just like how trucking is. It was to a point that it was too many truckers that was becoming truckers. Now we got foreign truckers. Now we got this truckers. So they had to make it harder. With the shortage, I'm looking at, first they had to get rid of the debt. Because you got to realize this was the debt income ratio for all nurses outstanding. The debt often equals to 50% of their annual salary. And the repayment takes 10 to 20 years. So these people, these nurses are not even paying at all. And also, the debt is growing. But once again, this is accumulated to acquire the degree. So they're aiming at Sally Mae, because Sally Mae got these nurses in in that hostage headlock. Sally Mae got nurses and colleges in a headlock. And I think that's what it was. That was the whole problem that was going down. They were trying to make sure that nurses don't have to reach their limit when they're trying to attain a degree. Now, don't get it wrong. It did sound bad. The title did sound bad. Nurses are not considered professional degree. It did sound bad, but most of the time, you can't take professionalism out of a occupation. Can't do it. So therefore, it was on some regardless of what profession you got. If you're fast food, you can't take the professionalism out of that. You can't do it. So that's why it was like it was aimed for Sally Mae. It was aimed at these colleges that do just charge out the booty hole because they know that you can apply for it. And once again, I'm gonna say this: it hurts the student because we're accessible to all this money, and then sometimes that occupation don't fulfill themselves about the check because every time when you out for 6 months, Sally Mae gonna be knocking on that door like, yo, like Debo, what you got on my 40? But Sally Mae be like, what you got on my 800,000? But I mean, I understand people what the outrage. I understand the outrage because it's like it did kind of downplay the role of a nurse when you say they're not considered a professional degree. And it probably would, it probably did lose some of these new students, like their pursuit, because they looking like, dang, so what is nursing? Is it a trade or what is it? And some of these new students looking like, well, I shouldn't even try to go to school because I ain't even got, what is nursing? Is it a professional degree or not? It's complicated. But how I figure, I'm trying to do my best to try to explain it. I think it was just on they trying to lower the price from colleges, but also don't put the student in debt if they trying to obtain a higher loan. You can say it's bad or not, but at the same time, man, it's like one of them things. Like I remember when I was going to the movies one night. My dad was like, "Nah, you ain't going to no movies." I think it was when Batman dropped. First Batman, Christian Bale. I think. And I was mad as fuck because I was like, damn, I want to go see Batman. But later on that night, that movie theater got shot up. The one I was going to see. And you got, like, I think that's where it is. It may necessarily sound like it's a bad thing, it's a hurtful thing, but we still got to look at the fact that a lot of these nurses are working in debt. A lot of these nurses are working under pressure of they got to pay bills, then they got to pay student loans, and they got to take care of a patient, but not taking care of themselves. So I think that was that was the part of what was the cause of it, and that was the causes. Point blank. Point blank. I mean, shout out to anybody who's a nurse, and my wife a nurse. She does a great job. She's a nurse practitioner. But I just hate the fact that this kind of thing has it kind of rubbed her off too, because it's like, are you trying to down talk what is nursing? And nah, that wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan to punish nurses. That wasn't the plan. It was more the plan of trying to stop, to stop the ongoing problem of nurses going through all day, or going through, and the burden of getting that degree. Because that might have been other than the shortage, I think the real problem is people who want to obtain that degree. People are, interested in the degree. And most of the time, the people that trying to get the degree, they're not looking at how much time and how much it costs. Then when you look at that, then when they actually, because at the end of the day, man, you could spend all your money to be the occupation. And if it don't fulfill, it don't pay out, you just stuck. So I think they're just trying to make sure that nurses, I think they're just trying to make some of these stuff affordable. And that's how you do it. You kind of I hate to say it, it's kind of like, you ever seen the hostage movie? I remember on, what was that movie? Speed, where the dude was hostage. The dude had him hostage, and most of the time, if that's the last choice, sometimes shoot the hostage in the shoulder, so the bullet can go through the shoulder and still hit the suspect. I think that was the last resort. Yeah, because the nurse gonna get taped up, the nurse still gonna live, but the suspect gonna die. And I hate the fact that it's kind of people rub it off as they trying to downplay nursing. No, they trying to make it acceptable. They're trying to make it accessible for anyone to be a nurse and doesn't have to live with that burden of paying a student loan off too. But I just wanted to get a deep touch on that one, because I know that was the one that everybody was talking about. They were kind of bad about that one. Let me look at that. I got 2 more. I'm gonna let them get 2 more. This is a crazy story right here that I came across. Once again, I'm gonna play a clip just to get a little brief.
World's strongest woman during a competition in Texas this month has been stripped of her title after organizers say they made the shocking discovery that she was born a man. American Jamie Booker, who officials now claim failed to disclose her biological sex before competing in the women's open category of the official Strongman Games World Championship, bested 2018 winner Britain's Andrea Thompson by 1 point. Booker took to her now private Instagram account before the controversy to thank her fans for the support, including people who donated more than $1,500 to send the athlete to the competition.
I want to say thank you to my coach, obviously, and to my gym mates for always pushing me and encouraging me, and same thing to my fellow competitors today. You are all insanely badass women, and it was an honor just to even share the stage with you.
But the celebration was short-lived when rumors started to circulate about Booker's biological sex, especially after a video on social media boosted by libs of TikTok showed runner-up Thompson storming off the podium as she cursed about the contest. A YouTube video was also dug up, allegedly posted on Booker's YouTube account in 2017, in which the weightlifter appears to admit to being a trans woman.
Everyone on earth is dying to tell their own story, and I am obviously no exception to that. I'm a 21-year-old trans woman with a history of abuse, struggling to stay true to herself while under the rule of her religious parents.
More strong women started coming out of the
Wow.
woodwork to bring light to the situation. Three-time Strong Woman winner Rebecca Roberts posted a lengthy caption on Instagram, writing that even the event's organizers were unaware of Booker's alleged biological sex. What happened this weekend wasn't transparent. None of us knew. Not even the organizers knew. And when fairness is taken by surprise, trust in the sport begins to crack. My message is simple. Trans people belong in sport, but women's divisions must remain biologically born female only. Morgan Irons, a professional strongwoman, also criticized Booker's transparency about competing as an alleged biological male.
I just want to preface with the fact that I have no ill will or hatred towards the trans community in any way, shape, or form. You are free to be exactly who you want to be in this world, as am I. But at the end of the day, this comes down to a lack of transparency and honesty. This individual competed in the women's division as a biological man, plain and simple.
Organizers of the official Strongman Games World Championship took swift action, posting an update on Instagram, claiming they had been urgently investigating the matter and that if they had been aware of Booker's biological sex, then she would not have been permitted to compete in the women's open category. Official Strongman is inclusive and proud to run events which do not discriminate against athletes based on personal characteristics. Any athlete is welcome, but it is our responsibility to ensure fairness and ensure athletes are assigned to men or women's categories based on whether they are recorded as male or female at birth. Organizers said Booker had violated the contest's rules, which clearly stipulate that athletes must compete in the category that aligns with their biological sex at birth. Booker was stripped of her title, and the places in the competition were altered to reflect the disqualification. Organizers said attempts to reach Booker had failed, and she hasn't addressed the disqualification or controversy. Thompson, the newly crowned world's strongest woman, took to Instagram to celebrate the community that stood up for women's sports. I am grateful to the team for reaching out to me, investigating and rectifying the situation so quickly, honoring the title to me, which is something we just don't see in any other sport that has faced a similar position. This means that we, as a community, are taking a stand, protecting women's sport as we have fought so hard for. Whilst I cannot say it won't ever happen again, I am confident that we will work something out to prevent it in the future.
Yeah. Ah, man. I mean, this is my comment to it, man. I mean, I just don't understand the simple solution of why can't they have their own category? Why are you trying to fight the identity of you being a woman? Why you want that to be the importance? I thought this you competing is the important part. Why can't you be in your league as a trans that you going against another trans person? Why can't that be the importance of you competing than me fulfilling my identity? Because it's disturbing. It's like most of these dudes that do that change, they compete against women. Come on, man. You know that's not fair. I don't care who you is. You know that is not fair. Me going through a transition, identifying a woman and competing against other women and dominating, you know that is not fair. Then they act shocked and surprised when, but it was, it's just, I'm just living my self-truth. Do that. Do that. Live your self-truth. I don't care what you want to be. But at the same time, I'm looking at the fact that you're not a woman. You wasn't born as a woman. I don't care how many transitions you have. I don't care how many times you drop that top. It's gonna be still convertible. But one thing I am shocked though. This was what a lot of conservative people wanted out of the women was to speak up. Just speak up for y'all because they're aiming most of these trans stuff ideology towards y'all, and that's all the conservative groups around was just trying to do. They was trying to get y'all to speak up, say that it's not right, and I'm starting to see that. That was just like also that recent story I probably did cover tonight when um, this dude was changing in the Gold's Gym. Changing in the Gold's Gym, I guess he got them, took his bottom off and was walking around swinging. But that's all, and she getting backlash too. Cause that happened in like California or something, and she's getting a backlash. She's actually trying to fight that. Like she's out here actually talking to Eric Swalwell, and she's actually trying to talk to these people like, yo, I don't think we should be in the same locker room as trans. And these people ain't even transitioned. These people are walking around swinging too. But I'm glad that, I'm glad that some of these organizations are trying to do right. That is kind of messed up. That this competition, it has an ugly face more like that. And they did right. They stripped him, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna give it to the right winner." That deserve a clap right there. I commend the strong men. I commend the strong men group for that one. They didn't leave it. They didn't leave it like broken. They did it right. They said, "Now we gonna go back and we're gonna make it right." 'Cause that is not fair, and that's crazy. I understand. Live your truth and be your truth. Stay your identity. But it's like, yo, you did all that transition just to compete against different girls. Telling me that was not tell me that wasn't your objective. Please tell me that. You did all that transition stuff just to I want to pee and get a girl and live my sports life. I think most of all this stuff, if they had their own league, but I'm starting to hear that that's the problem too because they feel like they're discriminated. They feel like they don't want to be. I guess they don't want to be the red dot on the Dalmatian. They don't want to stand out, and it's like somebody got to tell these people if you're trying to compete in sports, you're going to stand out regardless. That's why you're an athlete. Well, just be normal. Live your truth, man. But it's like the competing with the girl thing. It's like that was your fulfillment to do a transition and to win. And come on, everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody know. This ain't no surprise. Even a woman would know. That's why it happened to that one boxer. She got hit so hard, she said, "Oh hell no, that's not no dimp. That's not a female hands." The next minute, drug test. She got an X, Y, X, Z, X. She was a man. That's why these people know. These women know. That's why I'm glad that women are starting to speak up, because women, y'all the ones that hold the key as well to ending some of this, trans unfairness. These women are not women. It's gonna be the last topic. It went down. It went down. It went down in D.C. last. It went down in D.C. last week. A terrible attack happened at the White House. 2 National Guard members were shot. I think one went to the. One was wounded. One was unalived. It was terrible. I don't think no one should go to, a Thanksgiving where they had to find out their daughter or son was alive, unalived before. It was sad. But it was more information has came out about this shooter. It's crazy. They're speculating that allegedly the shooter was. Oh, it wasn't. I don't think it was allegedly, but the shooter was actually a CIA trained shooter. So this is a little bit of information.
A barbaric killing in the nation's capital, which left 1 National Guard soldier critically wounded and another dead, only blocks from the White House. Who is Ramanullah Lakhanwal, the suspected Afghan killer who allegedly terrorized Washington, D.C. on Wednesday? Here's everything you need to know. Near Farragut Square Park on November 26, gunshots rang out when a shooter ambushed 2 National Service Guard members in a broad daylight attack. The gunman, later identified as 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakhanwal, allegedly trained the sights of a .357 Magnum caliber Smith & Wesson revolver at 2 armed National Guard members, Sarah Beckstrom, 20, and Andrew Wolf, 24, who had been patrolling the area at the time. Beckstrom was wounded in the heinous attack and later died. Wolf was critically injured. A 3rd unarmed National Guard member rushed to the scene, reportedly leaping towards the suspect and stabbing him with a pocket knife, according to conservative lawyer and strategist Mike Davis. A 4th National Guardsman later ran toward the fray with a pistol drawn and shot Lakhanwal in the buttocks and leg. Disturbing video obtained by the Wall Street Journal shows the moment the hero National Guard member started shooting at the suspected terrorist, just moments after the alleged gunman ambushed Wolf and Beckstrom. More troops were eventually able to run to the scene and pin the gunman down as he was taken into custody. Lakhanwal and his family were welcomed into the U.S. 4 years ago after he served in the CIA-backed elite NDS-03 counterterrorism unit, one of at least 5 paramilitary Zero units that worked with the U.S. clandestine civilian organization. Because of his service to the U.S., Lakhanwal was led into America in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome, a Biden administration program to help Afghans who fought against the Taliban escape the war-torn country in the wake of the disastrous American withdrawal. After being welcomed in the U.S., Lakhanwal, his hijab-covered wife, and their 5 children settled in the idyllic northwest Washington city of Bellingham and were given a $2,000 per month apartment. Neighbors told the Post he largely lived a quiet life in a modern apartment building where he often played Call of Duty and FIFA. One neighbor told the Associated Press that Lakhanwal disappeared about 2 weeks before the shooting. A senior U.S. official told CNN that in 2021, Lakhanwal was vetted by the CIA and checked through the National Counterterrorism Center. The official said the Afghan was, quote, clean on all checks. Some of that reporting, though, has now been contradicted by the National Counterterrorism Center's director, Joe Kent, who blamed the Biden administration for a lapse in Lakhanwal's vetting process. It is true that the terrorist who conducted the attack in DC was vetted by the intelligence community. However, he was only vetted to serve as a soldier to fight against the Taliban, AQ, and ISIS in Afghanistan. He was not vetted for his suitability to come to America and live among us as a neighbor, integrate into our communities, or eventually become an American citizen. Lockenwall had applied for asylum in December 2024 and later got approval under the Trump administration in April of this year. While it's not entirely clear what his job was, a relative told NBC News that Lockenwall worked as a contractor for Amazon Flex, a delivery service in which contract workers make deliveries with their own vehicles. A motive for the shooting is still unclear, but officials are describing the attack as targeted. A childhood friend of Lockenwall said the shooting suspect suffered mental problems from what he saw in Afghanistan. President Trump has also speculated about the suspect's mental state.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens too. It happens too often with these people. You see them. But look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other. That's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted.
Following the attack, the Department of Homeland Security announced it would stop processing immigration requests for Afghan nationals, pending a review of security protocols, and that all Biden-era asylum cases would be scrutinized. President Trump also directed a sweeping review of green card holders from 19 countries of concern. U.S. Attorney for D.C. Jeanine Pirro announced Friday that Lockenwall, who survived the shooting, will be facing upgraded charges for the deadly assault. The refugee had already been facing charges of assault with intent to kill while armed and possession of a firearm during a crime of violence over the bloodshed. Pirro.
President Trump also had things to say about it. Let me pull that up. He had things to say about it. Yeah, you probably can't see it. Can you zoom in a little bit? Back. I'm zooming in a little bit more so y'all can see it. He said the animal that shot the two National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in two separate hospitals and severely wounded, but regardless, will pay a very steep price. God bless our National Guard and all of our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people, as President of the United States and everyone associated with with the office of presidency and with you. I mean, I hate to hear about that stuff like that, man. It's like, regardless of what you feel about stuff that's going on, that immigration stuff is a problem. It's a problem here, it's a problem there, it's a problem everywhere. And some people just try to make it seem like it's no problem. They're good, they're people, until we have sleeper cells, until we have stuff like this that goes on. Now you don't want to take it on purpose. Now you want to take it as, now you don't want, I didn't think them type of people would do that. You can't trust no one. That's why we have all these procedures done for visa. But when y'all just let people in this United States, we don't know what's going on. We don't know was these people crazy or not. And that's basically what happened. 2 people was injured. I think one of them died. And it's sad because the boyfriend of the girl that of the girl that got shot, I think she told the boyfriend she felt like her service was meaningless. So it's like, man, you gotta get to the point of these people who serve who have service for this country, man. They are real people just like you and me. They doing their job. They trying to support their kids too. You gotta have respect for that. that these people could be in a situation to protect you, and they will, because they sworn to protect. Prayers out to that family, because that's something sad to hear before. That's something sad to hear before holidays come around, that your daughter was died in service. That's a sucky feeling. And I hate the fact that we got some people out here. We got some people out here that I hate that we got some people out here that think all this shit is a game. Some of y'all liberals, man, y'all, I despise y'all sometimes, cause y'all say shit that, I mean, I understand about freedom of speech. I understand about all that. But sometimes some of y'all words just be like, that's what he said. Oh, I'm trying to pull it up right now. Yeah, this guy right here. This guy right here, I don't even care about who I'm exposing. This guy right here. He was happy. This guy was happy that 2 people got shot, saying that these type of things should happen to a racist administration. Why we got people like that are happy bad things are happening to the United States? Why? It's crazy. Is you doing it for views, or is you doing it to make yourself happy? Is you doing that like because it's weird? That's weird. I commend that shooter because of this racist administration. That's sick, because you got a family out there that's missing their daughter. You got a family right now that's worrying about their son that's in critical condition, and you just happy because they got shot because you don't like the administration. I'm sick of people like that, because y'all voices are getting silent and silent. Y'all getting more quiet and quieter because y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. And y'all starting to look way more stupider. Yeah, I don't hope that's not that's a word, it's a word. But y'all starting to look way more stupid. Because y'all not making sense. You're happy that a person got shot at their job, and their job was to protect this country, like you ain't a citizen. I hope you wasn't in D.C. I hope nobody was in that, that incident. But that shit happened. So why are you praising a person that did a terrorist attack? You could be in that same situation. You better hope somebody saved your life too. I'm just shocked though. But it's also, sometimes you gotta still talk to the people that think this immigration thing is nothing it's nothing to worry about. They don't do nothing wrong. We gotta talk to those people too. Cause I don't care how you feel about immigration. Let me put this record out. I'm sorry for the people that was in the United States and they happen to get mixed up with people that should be here. They got detained. I'm going to say that. I don't want to make it seem like I don't care. It is sad that some people that was lawfully should have stayed, that should have been here, get mixed up in all this ICE detainment. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But the rest of y'all who are not supposed to be here, y'all causing all this wreckage. Y'all should be deported. And I hate that though. Just sometimes freedom of speech, man, you can't do nothing to the voices that ignorant. First Amendment allows him to say that. That's what one of the comments said. Yeah, it allows him to say that, but it's still like when they actually had the First Amendment, it was there to protect you from opposing voices. Like, this wasn't there just for you to shout out crazy shit. This was there for you to protect your voice against oppressor. A long time ago, everybody was oppressed. White, black, don't matter. But I just hate we got people like that. Cause I dang sure know, I do know, if that was my son who got shot and you out here praising the person, but I might find where you stay at. I don't care anybody say. We have to throw the ones right quick. But that's all I got, man. 1:30. Doom. Knocked it out. Like they say, if you want it done, do it yourself. My final thought is, man, hey, man. We gotta start getting composure first, under control. Second, live your life as a trans. We need trans categories in sports so that all this stuff can be erased. Because people cheat. Third, prayers out to the National Guard and the people that was, in that shooting. Prayers out to y'all. Fourth, immigration is always going to be a problem when it's not done right. That's all I got to say, man. Hey, like, comment, subscribe. It's another episode, people. I'm gonna try to do some more videos. But y'all holler at me next Sunday, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks for watching.